Hey friends, welcome to Girls Night. I'm so glad that you're here today, especially because we are down to the final few episodes of the year before I take some time off to rest and be with my family for the holidays. All season long, we've been talking about these moments in life where you look around and think, this is not what I ordered. Those moments when expectations and reality don't quite match. In motherhood, in marriage, in our relationships, in friendships, in career, in the quiet in-between seasons. And the holidays, more than almost any other time of year, can be full of this is not what I ordered moments. For example, maybe you thought this would be the year you'd get to share the holidays with someone special, your own Hallmark Christmas love story. You pictured walking through Christmas markets, hand in hand, cozy nights by the tree, a magical December montage, but you're still single or single again, and the gap between what you hoped for and what actually is feels wider than ever this time of year. Or maybe you had a goal you really wanted to have reached by Christmas, a job change, a financial milestone, a move, a relationship conversation, something in your personal growth, and it just didn't happen. And now the season that's supposed to feel hopeful feels tinged with disappointment. Or maybe the struggles with your family. You have this mental picture of how families should be at Christmas. Peaceful, warm, connected, like something straight out of a Norman Rockwell painting. But your family of origin, they're a little more Griswold than Rockwell. A little more chaotic, complicated, unpredictable, and less like the holiday card version you wish you had. Or maybe it's your little family, the one you're building right now, that doesn't look or feel the way you hoped it would this year. I vividly remember sitting underneath our Christmas tree one year, absolutely sobbing on Christmas morning. We'd been trying so hard to get pregnant, and I so badly wanted to surprise our families with a Christmas morning announcement. I wanted that moment. I could picture it so clearly, but instead, we had another negative pregnancy test. And the disappointment and discouragement somehow just cut deeper because it was Christmas. Or maybe the disappointment isn't about relationships or milestones at all. Maybe it's about the holidays themselves. You always have this beautiful idea of what you want the season to feel like. The magic, the slowness, the traditions, the memories. But every year you slide into the holidays somewhere around December 23rd, frayed and exhausted from finishing out the year. And you realize that you've missed the most special parts of the season. Again. If any of this feels familiar, if you've ever thought, wait, I've been doing Christmas, but I haven't actually enjoyed Christmas, then this episode is for you. Today, we're talking about two big connected questions. One, how do we set ourselves up for delight and not disappointment this holiday season? And then two, how do we make Christmas magical when we're the ones responsible for the magic now? My hope is that today's conversation feels gentle and practical and freeing. And really, for me, this conversation started with something that I began noticing online. Something that I've been realizing these last few years, something that's true whether you're single, dating, married, divorced, a mom, not a mom, living with roommates, living with family, living alone, is that at some point in adulthood, the holidays stop being something magical that's done for you, and suddenly the magic is up to you. There's this moment, and I don't know if any of us ever realize, like the moment it happens, when you go from being a receiver of Christmas magic to the maker of it. Where you look around and think, oh, I'm not just experiencing Christmas anymore. I'm the one creating it. And once that hits you, you can't unsee it. Especially because what I've been noticing online these past few years. Little memes, reels, and videos saying things like, Christmas magic is really just mom doing everything in December. And honestly, the more I've seen of those and the more I've lived it out myself, the more I've realized, oh, yeah, that is true. The decorations? Mom. The gifts? Mom. The planning and logistics and the coordinating? Mom. The class parties and activities, the memories, the traditions, the little special touches that make everything feel magical? Mom. And now listen, in my house, I want to be really clear about this. Carl does so much. He does all of our laundry and meal planning and grocery shopping and like more than half of the cooking. Truly, our house runs because of him. And that's just the start of his list. He does so much. But the Christmas things, the lists, the travel, the gifts, the family coordination, the social plans, the schedules, the tickets, the don't forget they need a red sweater for school on Tuesday, those things are on my list. And here's the thing, even if you're not a mom, this still applies. Your home isn't going to decorate itself. Your December isn't going to fill itself with meaningful plans. Your holiday memories aren't going to magically show up on your doorstep. If you want something to happen in December, you're the one who has to make it happen. If you want to go to a Christmas market, you have to figure out when. If you want to host something cozy, you have to be the one to send the invite. If you want a peaceful night by the tree, you have to carve out the time. If you want the season to feel magical, you have to participate in creating that magic. And that realization, honestly, it's a little disappointing because I've always loved Christmas. I've always held it so high in my heart. And it was strange to realize that the reason things weren't feeling magical wasn't because I'd outgrown it. It was because I hadn't learned how to create the magic yet. So once that realization hit, that I'm not just experiencing Christmas anymore, I'm the one creating it in a lot of ways, I started thinking back over the last several years and noticing something that I'd never really put into words before. I realized that I've been approaching the holiday season with the exact same energy I had in college during finals week, just full-on sprinting. Every December, I go into this frantic mode of trying to wrap up work, wrap up life, respond to every last-minute thing, catch up on every loose end before the calendar flips, all while trying to also do Christmas things on top of it. It's like I'm trying to finish a semester and stage a Hallmark movie all at the same time. And by the time I come up for air, suddenly it's like December 22nd, and I'm absolutely exhausted, physically, spiritually, emotionally, just wrung out. And I look around and I think, oh, I missed it. I missed the part of Christmas that actually matters to me. The cocoa mornings, the cozy evenings, the slow traditions, the connection, the wonder, the anticipation, the things I always picture in my head when I think about Christmas. Those are the things that get squeezed out first when I'm sprinting. And so then when I think back, it's no wonder the holidays have held some disappointment for me. Not because my expectations were wrong, not because I was asking too much, but because I wasn't giving myself the time, the space, or the margin to actually experience the season I was longing for. I was doing Christmas, but I wasn't living Christmas. And I didn't know how to say that out loud for the longest time. The longing for a season I never seemed to get to participate in, even though I was working hard to create it. Even once I became a mom, and even once I realized that the magic was partly on my shoulders, I still kept the same rhythm. The college finals rhythm, the frantic December rhythm. And I'm learning that that rhythm is just not sustainable. Not if I want delight, not if I want presents, not if I want to feel Christmas in my bones the way that I always hope to. But here's the thing I'm realizing this year, and this is the part I never really understood before. Creating a holiday season that feels meaningful isn't just about slowing down. It's about getting honest and getting intentional. There are things I actively need to say no to if I want to protect the time, the space, and the margin I need to actually feel this season. And there are things I need to actively say yes to. Things I need to plan, prioritize, schedule, and make room for if I want to make sure to get to do the things that actually matter to me this time of year. I can't just hope that December magically aligns itself. I have to participate in shaping it. And that's what led me to take a page out of Create a Life You Love, my book that came out last year, and apply it directly to the month of December, to step out of the old pattern and intentionally create a holiday season that I love. So this year, I've decided to approach the holidays in the same way that I've approached so many meaningful areas of my life in the last several years. Gently, intentionally, with some curiosity and honesty about what I truly want, and also with clarity about what this season actually requires so that I can step into it with a full heart instead of an empty tank. And the very first step in that process is something I absolutely must do before anything else. I need to understand where that "this is not what I ordered" feeling has been coming from. Because even though not all of Christmas has been disappointing, not by any stretch, I have had plenty of moments where I've stood there on December 22nd or 23rd or 24th thinking, wait, how did we get here? This is not what I pictured. This is not the season I meant to create. And those "this is not what I ordered" moments always have roots. There's always a why beneath them. And so step one in my process, always, but also this December, is simply this. Notice what you think Christmas is supposed to look like. Before we can decide what to say yes to and no to, before we decide what needs to go on our calendar or get off of our plates, we have to understand the expectations we're carrying, especially the invisible ones. This is where so many of those "this is not what I ordered" moments come from. Most of us have a whole collection of ideas about what the holidays should look like. But we didn't sit down one day and decide those things. We absorbed them from maybe our childhood, our families, our favorite movies, social media, Pinterest, commercials, the people around us, the good mom stereotype, the good daughter or good friend expectations, the subconscious pressure to recreate a Hallmark montage. And then when our December doesn't match that unspoken picture, it's not because we failed, but because the picture was unrealistic or unexamined. And that's why we end up with this jolt of, okay, this is not what I imagined. So step one is really just an invitation to get curious, to ask, what do I actually think Christmas is supposed to look like? What am I trying to live up to? What picture is in my head that I haven't questioned yet? And where did this picture even come from? And then we can go through that list and begin creating a Christmas that feels like something we chose instead of something we defaulted to. So step two is to choose your few meaningful, actually doable things. So once you've taken a minute to notice what you think Christmas is supposed to look like, once you've named those unspoken expectations, the next step is where things really begin to shift. Because now we get to ask, okay, from everything I think Christmas should include, what actually matters to me? This is the part that most of us have never paused to consider. We just assume that if something is part of the cultural Christmas checklist, we're supposed to do it. But we're grown-ups now. We get to choose. So this step is really about two things. One, what do I need to say no to in order to protect the season I want? And two, what do I need to say yes to in order to make the season I want actually happen? So let's talk about the no's first, because this is where we create some margin, and margin is the only way that any of us are going to feel anything that resembles peace or magic this month. So this is your things we don't do at Christmas list. This list is freedom. This list is sanity. This list is clarity. Because some things really don't matter to you, or they matter, but not enough to sacrifice your well-being or your presence. A few of those, for us, look like 1, Christmas cards. We love receiving them, but have never once, not once, sent them. Zero guilt, just not on the list. Special ornament collections, we don't do that either. That's a beautiful thing that a lot of families do, and ours are totally random and chaotic and just like whatever we bought that year. And that's just fine. Another thing that a lot of people do that we actually don't do is Christmas morning at home, in our own home. Half of our family lives in Colorado, half of our family lives in Indiana, and so we spend the holidays there. We spend 1 week with my family, 1 week with Carl's family, and so every year, we and our girls get to come down the stairs, not at our house, but at our parents' house, and do Christmas morning that way. So we've had one Christmas morning in our house, and it was because our flight got canceled. But we never do Christmas morning at home, but we also really, really do it at home. In fact, 2 homes, and that's just how we do it. Another thing that's on my personal things I don't do at Christmas list is to wrap gifts beautifully. Now, this is not a popular opinion in the Wilson house because Carl and his mom are like expert, gorgeous gift wrappers. And so my policy is that it's just going to get done if it's my job. It's going to get done beautifully if Carl does it. And that's just how it goes. Another thing that we really don't do is outdoor lights. We just have never done them. They look beautiful and magical on other people's houses, but just not on ours. These are just a few of the things that culturally you feel like you're supposed to care about. But if you genuinely don't, you get to put them on your no list, because every no creates space for a better yes. So then you get to create your yes, this matters list. Once you clear the clutter, you can see what actually lights you up. Because here's the thing, we don't want to just remove things from December. We want to intentionally add things that make the season meaningful for us. So here are a few questions to ask yourself to get clear on this. Ask yourself, what feels Christmassy to me? What memories do I want to make this year? What do I want December to feel like in my body and in my home and in my heart? What moments help me slow down and soak things in? What traditions do I want to build or continue? What would I be really sad to miss? What do I need more of? What do I need less of? Because again, step 2 isn't just about picking things that look good on Instagram or things your mom always did or things you think count as Christmas traditions. It's about choosing the few beautiful, meaningful things that will make you feel connected to this season, that will feel special for you and for your family. And here's the part I want you to remember. You cannot do everything, nor should you. You only need a few meaningful things to make December feel magical. So step 2 is really about clarity. It's saying, these are the things that I don't need to do, and these are the things I absolutely do want to do. And you know what? Now you're ready for step 3, which is the moment that everything shifts from theory to reality. So step 3 is to put it on the calendar. Have a day where you plan your Christmas magic. So now that you've gotten clear on what does and doesn't matter to you this season, it's time to take the step that makes all the difference. The things you want to happen this December won't just magically happen on their own. They won't just fit themselves in. You're not going to stumble into peaceful mornings or dreamy traditions or cozy gatherings by accident. December is one of those months that will plan itself for you if you don't plan it on purpose. And so this is a new idea for me, but I'm really excited about it. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm about to. I'm going to do a Christmas magic planning day. I want to treat planning the holidays the same way I would treat planning a trip. If we were going to Paris, for example, I wouldn't say like, oh, it'd be nice to see the Eiffel Tower sometime. No, I would figure out when, I would book the tickets, I would look at the weather, I'd map out the day, and I'd make the plan. Why? Because planning creates the space to actually enjoy it when the time comes. And the same is true for Christmas. So here's what I'm going to do this year, and I want to invite you to do it too. Step 3 is sitting down with your calendar and actually placing your yes items into December. Not hypothetically, not just in your head, not sometime during the holidays, not we'll figure it out, not maybe next weekend. We're talking about actual dates, actual times, actual plans. So here's what I'm planning for my own Christmas magic planning day. I want to get my planner and my phone and a cup of something cozy. And I want to look at the weekends and notice which ones are already full. I'm going to check the girls' school calendar. I'm going to look at our travel days. I'm going to block out the nights that I want to keep slow and sacred. I want to look up some show times for Christmas performances. When I think about what we actually have energy for. And I want to place the moments that matter directly into our calendar. I'm going to send the texts, buy the tickets, make the dinner reservations, or block the night off for stay home Coco movie. It doesn't have to be complicated, just intentional. Because again, the truth I keep coming back to is if it's not on the calendar, it is not happening. December fills itself with school things and work things and random things and last minute things, things you didn't see coming, things that don't actually matter to you, unless we guard the space for things that actually do. The funny thing is, this is true about our entire lives, not just December, right? And that's why step 3 is so crucial. It takes your beautiful intentions and turns them into experiences you'll actually get to have. It's the moment where December stops happening to you and starts happening for you. It's the moment where I want to go to a Christmas show becomes Friday the 13th, 7 p.m., Nutcracker tickets booked. Or I want a cozy morning under the tree becomes Sunday the 8th, blocked off, cinnamon rolls, pajamas. Or I want time with friends becomes girls' Christmas brunch, December 15th. Or I want to make memories with the kids becomes Saturday the 21st, matching pajamas, Christmas lights drive. Whatever it is you love, whatever your yes list holds, step 3 makes it real. And once it's real, you can stop sprinting. You can stop holding everything in your head. You can stop hoping it'll just magically come together. You can breathe and relax and savor the season you actually planned. Because now you've built a December that's aligned with who you are and what you truly want. And now that it's planned, it kind of just gets to happen to you. So a few weeks ago, as I was thinking about this, I sat down and made a list of things that feel truly Christmassy to me. I told you some of my no list, and so I want to share with you some of my yes list. One is a Christmas show. Growing up, my mom always took me to see the Nutcracker, and it is one of my all-time favorite Christmas memories. And now that the girls are turning 5, they're old enough to do things like that. I think they'll love it. So one of my things on my Christmas planning list is to look up a show and figure out what's happening locally and actually get tickets and get it on the calendar. A thing that I would love to do over the Christmas season, which is also something my mom and I did together, was doing a high tea together, like a Christmas tea. It felt so special and grown up and magical. And I have to be honest with myself that I think my girls are still a little bit young for this. So that might be a next year thing, but it's on my radar and it's a tradition I want to bring back into our lives and into the future with us. Something else that is meaningful to me is a fancy Christmas gathering. When I was growing up, my parents used to throw this really beautiful, sparkly Christmas party at our house, and I loved everything about it. The outfits and the music and the glasses clinking and the laughter and the glow of it all. And now we don't have the capacity either like physically or, mentally to plan something like that this year, but I do want at least one moment in December that feels a little elevated, a little celebratory, a little sparkly. And so that's on my list too. Just the simplest version of festive and special. I also want to have as many magical moments for the girls as I can. And a few of these things are things that I wouldn't necessarily choose on my own, but I know that the girls will absolutely love them. One of them is an advent calendar. We did them occasionally growing up, but it's never been like at the top of my Christmas must-do list. But something that I've been realizing more and more lately is that my kids have no concept of time. And so as Christmas approaches, they're going to be asking me every single day, is today Christmas? Is today Christmas? Is today Christmas? They already are. So having an advent calendar is just an absolute yes. I'm going to get one, and I think it'll be a really fun way for them to get to visually track the days and also build excitement. Another thing that would probably be like a maybe if there's time, but I wouldn't prioritize it, just for me, would be gingerbread houses. But for my girls, I think they're going to be obsessed with this. It combines their favorite things, building and creating and sweets and making a mess, truly their favorite things. And so I think gingerbread houses are going to have to happen this year, not necessarily because they're my favorite, but because I know my girls will love them. Another thing that is on my yes list is cozy mornings under the tree. This is one of those things that just never happens on its own. And so I'm going to block off a morning for cinnamon rolls and pajamas and music and cocoa and zero rushing, just us, just cozy. And honestly, even if it lasts 30 minutes, it's still going to be special. The last thing is I want to have some things that are just for me and really for us, for me and Carl. I want to make sure that this season gets to feel magical for not just the girls, but for us too. And so a few things that looks like is, Christmas music or having a festive drink somewhere, watching some of my favorite Christmas movies, putting up as many Christmas trees around our house as I can physically fit. And I want an intentional date with me and Carl. Something that feels warm and Christmassy, like a walk through the lights or a cozy drink somewhere. Something that reminds us that we're us in the middle of this special Christmas season. And so that category is something I'm going to plan also. And that category is sort of things that fill my cup or that feel connective for the two of us. And again, in order to make room for those things, we are not doing Christmas cards. If Carl wants to do fancy wrapping paper, he can, but I'm absolutely not going to. Special Christmas ornament collections, outdoor lights, elaborate baking, perfectly decorated house. trying to do every event or opportunity. That's not happening this year. These are lovely things. They're just not our things this year. And so saying no to them creates margin for our meaningful yeses. So that's what's on my list this year and what's not. That's what I'm saying yes to and what I'm saying no to, and how I'm going to intentionally carve out space so that we get to really live this season the way that we want to. And here's the heart of all of this. The holidays and our lives don't become meaningful by accident. They become meaningful on purpose. And that doesn't mean controlling everything or trying to force the season into a perfect little Hallmark package. It doesn't mean being rigid. It doesn't mean getting everything right. But what it does mean is stepping out of autopilot and into intention. It means being honest with yourself about what you want this season to feel like. Being brave enough to say no to the things that drain you and intentional enough to say yes to the things that actually matter to you. And then making the space for them on your actual calendar in your actual life. Because when we do that, December becomes gentler, richer, more grounded, more us. We stop arriving at December 25th going, this is not what I ordered. We begin to experience the magic instead of just orchestrating it. And whether you're single or dating or married or a mom or far from family or navigating complicated family dynamics or in a season of transition or stepping into December with a tender heart, I want you to know this. You get to decide what matters. You get to decide what you carry and what you lay down. This is true for the holidays and it's true for life too. There's no one right way to do this. There are very few rules you have to follow. There's no scorecard. There's only intention and compassion and the courage to create a season that feels meaningful to you. And I truly believe that when we make the time to notice, to pause, to choose, to plan, to prioritize the things that make us feel alive, we give ourselves the gift of having a December the way we've always wanted it to be. And again, this is so true about life too. So here's some final encouragement for you. Wherever this episode finds you today, as we step into the holidays, I hope you give yourself permission to make this season your own. I hope you say no freely. I hope you say yes joyfully. I hope you protect the things that matter and let go of the things that don't. I hope you build in rest and softness and margin. I hope you create a few little moments that make you pause and breathe and remember why this season matters so much to you in the first place. I hope truly that you get to experience not just the work of Christmas, but the wonder of it. Friend, thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I will see you next week for another episode of Girls Night.